What's going on, man?
What's going on, man?
Oh man, this is the end of the end of the. They say, although we come to the end of the road, still you know, yeah, it's the end of the road. There's so many people that really look at. I think that we can look at these lives and actually look at this game and say, you know what? There's a possibility that we won't be talking about the playoffs or moving forward until we pretty much got to talk off season talk. Um, it's a chance we can win this football game, and it's a chance we can. Some people can help us win. If we would have handled our business early on in the season, we wouldn't have got down. I want to ask you. You know, we can look at a couple of games that we did if we would have just won. And I look back to that Green Bay game. I don't know about you. We were up 17 to nothing on the Green Bay Packers. And it's ironic it's coming back to haunt us. Um, it's coming back to haunt us because the Green Bay, if Green Bay loses to the Chicago Bears, then that's the opening for us to get another shot. You look at the games that the teams that beat us that shouldn't have beat us, and we're hoping for these same teams to give us a favor and lose. Isn't that ironic, son?
Yeah, well, hey, that's why you win the games that you're supposed to win. Um, and that's part of why in the beginning of the season a lot of those games mattered. You gotta make sure that we had an easy schedule. We had a ton of chances to go ahead and get into these playoffs. So now you're just on the outside looking in. Basically, you put in your hands into other teams. I mean, you're putting your hopes into other people's hands. Basically. Um, I'm gonna start out like this, Saints fans. I'm gonna say it like this, because there is a chance today. The scenarios is the Saints number one. Before we can get into all of everything else, the Saints have to win today.
No
Okay,
matter what, the Saints got to take care of business.
no matter what, the Saints have to beat the Atlanta Falcons. Okay, point blank, period. If they want any type of chance of anything happening. Okay, now once after they handle that business and they win, and if they win this game today, then you have other scenarios here. Okay, you have the division. The Buccaneers play the Carolina Panthers today. Okay, the Carolina Panthers is a divisional game. I don't give a damn what that record says. I'm
You
gonna
ain't
tell
the
you,
only one. There were many analysts talking about what you're saying on the
yes,
on NFL
I
Network.
don't give a
Go ahead.
damn what the record says. Uh, Carolina gives their division rivals trouble every time
At home.
at home, and then they're playing at home. Carolina is against the Buccaneers. Okay, and to me, I'm not gonna lie to you. When the Buccaneers played against us, they did not look like the team that they were on that 3-game winning streak. The Panthers, I guarantee you, was looking at that film against the Saints and was like, you know what, we can really go ahead and expose this team. So very possible that the Carolina Panthers could beat the Buccaneers today. And if that's possible, the Saints could very well win the division and be in the playoffs. Okay. Now, if that doesn't happen, then you have other scenarios. Okay. The last spot in the NFC, the seventh seed.
Well, I
Okay.
like the Cardinals. I like the Cardinals, EJ.
Once again, you still have to beat the Falcons. You still have to take care of that out of anything. But if you want the seventh seed and the Buccaneers end up beating the Panthers, the Arizona Cardinals will have to beat the Seattle Seahawks. Okay. Now look, this Carolina Panthers. The Arizona Cardinals took care of the Philadelphia Eagles really good.
They're really hot, EJ. They're really hot.
They are really hot. They are a very dangerous team right now because Kyler Murray is
Kyler
playing.
Murray.
Kyler Murray is playing his ass off right now. So very possible that could
That
happen.
game is in Glendale. It's in
Yes,
Glendale, Arizona.
it's in Arizona.
Not in Seattle in the cold.
Seattle just lost last week against Pittsburgh. I mean, so I'm just saying that's very possible as well. And then you have one more scenario. You not only you're looking for the Cardinals to beat the Seahawks, you're looking for the Chicago
Chicago
Bears.
Bears. Now this
You
is where
need
I'm very iffy.
you need the Bears to beat the Green Bay Packers today if you're looking for that seventh seed. Okay, the Bears have been hot. Not gonna lie to you. Okay, I don't know what it is, but Justin Fields deciding right now that he wants to play his best football right now. Okay, and then we just talked about division rival games. This is a division rival game. Okay, Chicago would love to go ahead and ruin the Green Bay Packers right now.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
division game. You got to look at the Green Bay Packers and the Chicago Bears. I saw the first game, and Chicago was toe to toe with the Green Bay Packers at home, and they looked at good. I think the difference maker, just like Kyler Murray, is Justin Fields. Justin Fields is playing for a new contract. He's playing for maybe getting
He's
traded
trying
to
to
another
stay on the
organization.
Chicago Bears.
Yeah, it's a possibility of him not even being a quarterback of the Chicago Bears. So
Right,
he's actually doing a this is an audition for him for other teams.
right.
He might
So
be look, Saints fans, we might be playing against him. He might be Atlanta Falcons quarterback. I heard many reports that he would love to play back. I think Atlanta is
he's
his
from
hometown.
Atlanta. I got some things too. I kind of want to talk about with Atlanta because I've heard some things going on in Atlanta's organization that I think needs to be talked about as well. But yeah, Saints fans, that's basically the two biggest scenarios that needs to happen today. If you're one of those people that's there's holding on to a playoff hope, that's what it's looking like. That's what the Saints have put themselves in, and that's what it is. There's no sugarcoating it. Like I said, the Saints could have, put themselves in a better position, but this is the hand that's been dealt with. Now, I kind of want to get into some other things about these Saints before I get into the Atlanta situation I mentioned earlier. Um, the Saints have begin doing their cap situation again. They have begin
Oh
working.
man, you bringing this up? They got a lot of Saints fans that are in panic mode. I'm glad you're bringing this up.
Yeah,
They're going crazy over Marshawn. But go ahead, man.
the Saints are making moves right now to get under the cap starting now, which is very smart. The Saints, they do this every year, and it's been every year that they've been trying to go ahead and get a lot of these veterans on this roster, and you can see that sometimes they have to get they have to start so early on this stuff, so that next season they can go ahead and be better prepared to be under the cap. Biggest name that was mentioned and already the contract that was already getting messed with is Marshawn Lattimore. Okay, look, biggest thing about Marshawn Lattimore is I do not want him getting traded, but it is a possibility. Saints fans, I'm look, he's has a lot of money. He's taken a lot of money from us. But he deserves a lot of that money. I do believe that he's been our great lockdown cornerback one for years. But the Saints are in a position right now where the Saints are going to make a lot of harsh cuts after this season. Okay,
That's the
a
reality.
lot of great veteran players that we love over the years are going to be gone. That is what the reality
That's
is.
the reality.
We tried to tell y'all this a couple of weeks before. Y'all didn't want to listen. It's starting to happen now. So I'm just telling y'all, don't get so attached to a lot of these players that y'all love over the years.
Alvin Kamara.
Alvin Kamara could be a name coming up. Cameron Jordan.
I don't think Cameron getting traded. I think Cameron will.
No, he's
He's
gonna
be retired. I think he's gonna go out.
Talking him into retirement. Like players like that. I'm just saying, y'all. These are guys that because of where we are on cap and everything, it looks like we're
Ryan.
gonna have to from. What's going on, Ryan? Michael Thomas, another situation that was going to be monitored as well. Um, Now
Yeah, I
let
don't think Michael Thomas is going to be back.
yeah,
I just don't see. I don't see, and I know with the Saints fans, they get emotional. EJ,
yeah,
they get their favorite players. Michael Thomas have done a lot for New Orleans, but he has missed a lot of games. He
lot of
missed a lot of
games.
games
Yeah,
in the last 3 seasons. Have you gotten with your money's worth of that contract that we signed, Michael Thomas? And now, I believe for the team's best interest is to let him walk.
yeah.
That's just my.
I believe
I got to get out my feelings, man.
I believe so as well. I love Michael Thomas, and
I love him, new.
I put everything on this season for Michael Thomas. This was a prove it year. I needed to, if nothing else, I needed to see him healthy the whole season, and he did not do that this season. He was once again injured, and he did not finish the season. So from that alone, he hasn't proven that he can stay healthy a whole season. So that's what's probably
And I
gonna
don't want to hear no excuses, Saints
right.
fans. I
Yeah,
don't want to
there's
hear
no
about Derek
excuses.
Carr got him hurt. I don't want to hear about all the organization in a training facility. I don't want to hear that. The bottom
Yeah,
line is we got to move on from Mike T. We love Mike T.
yeah,
And for us to get better, like the other football teams, there are going to be some questionable decisions, but they have to happen. Some of these guys got to go. I would even think about if trading Ryan Ramczyk, even if he clears to get back, because Ryan Ramczyk I
well,
know. I
after
mean,
hearing the
he
news
might
that I
retire, man.
heard, after hearing the news I heard on Ryan Ramczyk, and now it's becoming public, I don't think teams are going to be knocking on the door to try to get Ryan Ramczyk,
Yeah, he
and
might get a third round,
unless
fourth
unless
round,
they
third round
know
pick.
unless they know that he's going to be healthy again, and which that's an unknown right now. We don't know if he's going to ever play football again. So until that's a known that he can still play football, I don't know if the Saints would get trade value from him. Mark,
Ryan was talking about Jamal. He hopes Jamal has a breakout game since AK is out today. Kendra is playing today. From what I heard, the interview from Kendra Miller, he is playing today.
yeah,
Was Michael Tom? I mean, was Alvin Kamara ruled out? EJ, I don't.
I
I don't think. I
I
think it's a
will.
game time decision. But go
No,
ahead, EJ.
I will be naming the injury report right now. The Saints running back Alvin Kamara is officially inactive, and running
Okay,
back Kendre Miller is officially active
active.
today. Peyton Turner is active for the first time since week one.
Wow,
Um,
and that's an evaluation I want to see. I want to see if he's worth bringing back next year. I do. I still got hope in Peyton Turner because I remember when Hendrickson. I remember when Hendrickson was dealing with his early injuries, and I'm not. And listen, Saints fans, I am not comparing Hendrickson and Peyton Turner. I'm just letting you know that Hendrickson was a late round pick that the Saints picked up in the third round, but Turner is a first round draft pick. But the Saints didn't give up on Hendrickson. The New Orleans Saints actually he had a stellar performer, but it happened to be that they could not resign him and they went with Davenport instead of him. So don't make that mistake again. Turner, if he could stay healthy and he wound up become that guy, I would hate the Saints to lose another pass rusher.
he just needs to be healthy.
He just needs to be healthy.
And active wise as well. Of course, Jake Hainer is inactive. Key Kirkwood is inactive. Monty Rice is inactive. Kyle Phillips is inactive.
Is Jawan Johnson playing? That's the question by Ryan.
Lonnie Johnson is inactive, and Landon Young is inactive. Jawan Johnson will be playing today.
All right, Jawan Johnson. And the way Jawan Johnson has been playing, EJ, this is the Jawan Johnson we expected when he signed that contract. And I gave Jawan Johnson hell because the injuries was hurling him back, and he was not getting the opportunities. That was my only thing. I'm like, Jawan Johnson, y'all talking about Derek Carr stole the money. I felt like Jawan Johnson in the first couple of games stole some money too. But you can't talk about him no more. The man has played, I mean, stellar performance the last 2 weeks, the last 3 weeks. He's been playing like the guy we was expecting.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm liking what I'm seeing from the last couple of weeks from Jawan Johnson. I expected to see that the whole season, but hopefully he can carry this momentum into next season. Ryan, you mentioned Jimmy Graham. Yeah, this would probably be a game where you probably see a lot of targets for Jimmy Graham because I do not expect to see Jimmy Graham back on this team next season. He
Retire,
He's probably
retire.
going to retire. He was banking on this season to be, a Super Bowl or bust thing, and
Only if the Saints slip in the playoffs.
he he
There's always a chance. Let me stop. Go ahead.
he doesn't have much in the tank left, so we'll we'll definitely be not see Jimmy Graham. I'm sure of next season. But like I was kind of mentioning with Marshawn Lattimore earlier, I was saying though that now just because we did this thing where we're manipulating the cap with his contract. Look, let me tell y'all, Saints fans, there is still a very high possibility that Marshawn Lattimore is coming back. Let's not go ahead just because that happens that he's not coming back. People thought last season Michael Thomas wasn't coming back this season. Once they was working on his contract last season, so there's very high possibility that Lattimore could be back. They just need to work on a deal that's more Saints friendly. Jameis Winston, he also helped the team.
He helped the team, and it doesn't mean he's coming back, Saints fans.
No, he's
Because they had some Saints fans thinking because he restructured that he's
no.
coming back.
I do say this, Jameis Winston. I appreciate your
I
help.
love you, Chad James. We
Um,
love you, James.
we'll appreciate the help, to the Saints cap and working out for with that contract situation. But he's not coming back, Saints fans. He's looking to go ahead and have another opportunity somewhere else, which he should. Let him get a chance somewhere else. Um, but as far as Saints fans thinking he's staying, no, he has that is 2 void years that was added to his contract. So next season, those years will be removed on his contract, and he still will be entering free agency come next season. Also, too,
Wouldn't be surprised Andy Dalton end up our backup again. Wouldn't surprise me. Go ahead.
also as well, Derek Carr. I heard news on him that
Considering,
he is very willing to take a pay cut for the Saints.
well, a restriction, because Saints fans had to make us known that that's just a down the line thing. That is not a pay cut. But go ahead.
But
It still helps the team, fools.
he's very willing to go ahead and lower his money for the Saints to be able to make moves come next season. And to quote his words, he says that he came to New Orleans to win. So whatever he needs to do to go ahead and help the team, that's what he'll do. So that's very encouraging from any quarterback, whether you like him or not.
Whether you like them or not.
You need your quarterback one on board with that, for sure. And with money, because the Saints don't have much wiggle room when it comes down to money. So for him to say that he's willing to go ahead and help in that manner, that's very good news. Okay. So that's so far. That's that's what I have in off-season news for the Saints. Now I'm gonna talk about Atlanta. This is what I'm hearing about Atlanta, y'all. Atlanta, they're looking like if the Saints win this football game today against Atlanta, they're looking like they're gonna fire their head coach. Okay, which is not shocking. Okay, but what I am hearing in the rumor mill as well is that
Bill Belichick.
Bill Belichick is looking like he's interested and
In the whole NFC South, he's interested in, that is, the Saints make a miracle fire of Dennis Allen. He's interested in all the teams. I'm hearing.
Well, Bill Belichick is open to the NFC South, but Atlanta is looking like they're very interested in Bill Belichick. So
I think Carolina.
that's
But go ahead.
something to keep a very big eye on. If it does come down to that, I know a lot of Saints fans going brush that off and be like, oh, he's getting old and everything like that. But
I don't think he's the same coach anymore.
I'm gonna say this: if I guarantee y'all, if Bill Belichick came to the Saints, you would probably change your mind and say, oh, we're back again.
Well, no,
Like
they would think Saints fan would think he's better than Dennis Allen. Go ahead.
yeah. So that's what I'm saying. Like if you're
I
gonna
don't
go
think
ahead
nobody.
and
I
think
want
of
the
him,
Saints to, if we do change coaches, EJ, I would rather the Saints to go after a younger guy, similar like the Detroit Lions, Ben Johnson. I want to see them do like they did with Sean Payton when he was young. Go after an energized young coach, not like a Bill Belichick. I don't think
oh
that's
yeah,
something.
yeah.
Yeah, that's not nothing I would want to go with.
That's
Not with the
nothing
Saints.
that I would want the Saints to target. Even though I love his
I love
pedigree.
me some Bill Belichick,
I
but I
love
just
Bill
think it's
Belichick, but for what the Saints are needing to do, they need to go younger in every aspect of the game, and that's not what they need. And I also heard on Atlanta side as well that Eric Bieniemy could be a target of the Atlanta Falcons as well. So,
he's the target of everybody. I'm hearing the Chargers. I'm hearing there's many other teams, not just the Atlanta Falcons, that are looking for Eric Bieniemy. So I think this is going to be the first time Eric Bieniemy gets a head coaching job. But it's not just the Atlanta Falcons. There are several other organizations that'll be. It's going to be a bidding war for all these coaches out here.
Also in injury news today for this game, Taylor Heineke is inactive, so Desmond Ritter will start for the Atlanta Falcons today.
And let me tell you something. We have trouble with Desmond Ritter's at times. You know his
Yeah.
ability to run. Every time we play Atlanta, Desmond Ritter, his ability to run and escape the pocket. I would have and Taylor Heineke would have gave you more than that. I think Taylor Heineke was more athletic than. I think this is a better opportunity for the Saints because I think that Heineke runs more than this guy that we about to play. What you
Mhm.
think about that, EJ? I think Heineke runs all the time.
Well, I'm gonna be honest with you. I was kind of hoping Heineke played today, just because of if you look at Saints history against both of these quarterbacks, the Saints play a little bit better against Heineke. But Desmond Ritter is he's mobile, man. It's something about us with mobile quarterbacks, so we need to go ahead and get prepared for Desmond Ritter when he runs. Not so much passing the ball. I'm not really afraid about him throwing the ball like that. He's not that good of a passer. The Saints just have to come in this game with a better mindset than what they did when they played them the first time. They definitely don't want to go ahead and start out slow. Get on this team, jump on this team, stay ahead. Okay, that's don't give Atlanta a chance. Okay, I also had mentioned this too earlier, like a couple of lives ago, and I was talking about how this is the game of the season for
Bijan Robinson will be the biggest key to this game. That's what we'll go ahead.
I've always I know a lot of us was talking about Rams game and other games before, but this is the game I was and Buccaneers game and all this other stuff. But I was definitely looking at this game as game of the season, not just because of what was at stake for playoffs and everything, but as Saints fans, we don't like to lose to the Atlanta Falcons. Okay, so we need to go ahead in this game and finish on a high note. Okay, regardless of whether we make the
No,
play,
we don't want to get swept by the Falcons.
you just don't do that. Okay, you don't get swept by the Atlanta Falcons. Okay, so we need to come into this game just to win, get a win. Okay, and then and look, if we get in the playoffs, hey, we do. That's cool. If we don't,
If we don't,
that's
let's just
momentum
get
for
ready for
next
next year.
season. That's momentum for next season. So that's kind of my mindset so far. That was kind of the biggest things I wanted to touch up on for this team, for the Saints. Kind of getting into some off-season talk and everything like that. But that I want to kind of kick it to you. Knowing all this information that I kind of talked about and everything, what are you looking forward to today against these Atlanta Falcons? And then, talk about kind of your postseason hopes, and then kind of talk about what you're looking forward to in the offseason if the Saints don't make the playoffs.
Well, if it's not broken, and I mean you don't have to fix it. I like what the last 4 games what I seen from Derek Carr. And if it ain't broke, you don't try to fix it. I want to see more of that connection with Juwan Johnson. I think that is the key to success, hitting the tight ends. I like the 3 tight ends, the way they were throwing to Taysom Hill, they were throwing to Foster Moreau, and they were throwing it to Juwan Johnson. And I think that if we're gonna win this game, I think that the Saints got to be aggressive and keep running the ball. And this is a game I think, Kendra Miller, the fact that Kendra Miller, this is a game I can see Kendrick Miller. We hear B. John Robinson, but if Kendra, from listening to the interview of Kendra Miller, he said he has a lot to prove. So our rookie step up. You know what I'm saying? I want to see number 25 give us something in this ball game. That's
Yeah,
what I would like to see.
yeah, man. Kendra Miller has been out all season long, basically. You definitely want to see what you have in Kendra Miller. Um, like when he has played, he's shown some great flashes. Look like Alvin Kamara in some instances. But the thing is with him, he just needs to stay healthy, man. Now I kind of like to revert back to Tajay Spears when we was in the draft. And this was the biggest thing. The talent level. Hey, but they're both even. They both are great. It's just that one was healthier than the
Yeah,
other.
you're talking about durability.
Durability, and I think the Saints, they put their pickings into Kendra. Kendra has to go ahead and show that he's durable, that he can stay healthy. Okay, starting today. Okay, I know it's the last game of the season, but starting today, going forward, he needs to
Yeah,
go
I
ahead
mean
and
that could
stay
run into
healthy.
next year. Whatever he does today, EJ, it could run into next year, and
Yeah,
that's what. And he could tell us if he can make us comfortable once we move on from Alvin. That hey, you know what, we got a guy. Make
yeah,
us, I mean, if he can't show up, then we got to sign Alvin Kamara back. So
yeah.
if you want to if you want to prove that you are the next guy, you got to play this ball game like you the next guy.
Right, exactly. Yeah. Like I said, I just want to see this offense kind of get rolling. They look. I'm gonna be honest with you. Against the Bucks, the Saints looked like a whole different team, man. Like that, this was a team that we wanted to see all season long. And that's what I want to see again today. Just carry that momentum, whatever. And I'm not looking for Pete Carmichael to be back next season. From what it looking like and what it sounding like.
But there's always a scapegoat to the season, and unfortunately, Pete Carmichael is still probably going to be a part of this organization in some
Yeah,
capacity. Pete is a knowledgeable person who could probably be in, as far as like, I mean, somewhere, quarterback coach. He's done that for years. Go back to being quarterback coach. I don't know, some kind of capacity. Pete could still be a part of this organization. I don't think it was all Pete Carmichael's fault. I think Doug Marrone in that offensive line was a lot of problems as well. You can't get your plays developed if the offensive line is not giving the quarterback enough time to have for the play to develop. A lot of people, what is easy for us to do? Blame quarterback.
yeah, most definitely. Everyone's gonna blame the quarterback one whether he's doing good or he's doing bad. They're gonna point the finger. I do say this with Derek Carr, regardless of how you feel about him, he's been playing very good ball. In the month of December, I don't know what it was or anything like that, but he hasn't been the problem in as far as December. He's been playing very well in this month. And I think I've heard the news too as well going forward that Dennis Allen. I think Saints fans, you might need to go ahead and just start preparing yourselves for that. That Dennis Allen is going to most likely be back, and unless
Now, unless they
things
lose
go
this
back.
game and they lose this game terribly.
Yeah. If things go back today, then totally different story. But of course, we want to win today, and I highly doubt it goes that way. And the way the Saints showed up against the Bucks last week, it's pretty telling that the Saints are probably going to come out with a win today. So be prepared to see Dennis Allen back as your head coach next season, which I'm not really with that but I'm a
I
Saints
think if
fan,
Dennis
so I
Allen come back, you can, if the Saints start slow, because normally this is what happens when you give a chance a guy three chances. If the Saints start the first 5 games
oh
and
yeah,
being slow, then
yeah,
I think they'll fire him in the season. But
yeah,
I didn't. I know Saints fans want him gone. I'm not too happy about this, but let's see what Dennis Allen can do with a whole different offensive coordinator, the revamp the whole offensive staff. That's what I'm thinking the
yeah,
Saints are going to
yeah.
do.
That if we're bringing them back, we definitely just gonna have to get rid of that whole offensive staff. See what we can bring in. Find you somebody that knows what they're talking about on as far as being the offensive coordinator, and then we'll see from there. Come next season, like the first couple of games, like that I just mentioned. Um, if we go in a 0-4 record or 1-3 record or something like that, by all means, Dennis Allen, I would not expect to see him, be the head coach of New Orleans Saints. So a lot of pressure is on. A lot of changes is going to be made for these Saints. A lot of things are going on. Look, I know it's been crazy. It's been a crazy ride, Saints fans. We always do every week, every Sunday, and this is our second season doing it. We always gonna be here. We're always gonna be there, giving y'all the
Yeah,
update.
and
The
you know how
insights.
it go. It's we've been growing. We've been growing very slow. If you guys are new to the channel, please share the video, like the video. If you like the video, we get more. YouTube will give more algorithm looks to this channel. The more that if you don't press the like button, we don't get the more algorithm chances. Um, I want to thank the people that's new to the channel and the ones who've been dedicated for a very long time. We do understand that there are so many other podcasters out there, but
Yeah.
we love the Saints just like all the other podcasters. Okay, we may not be the most sexiest and the most I want to say popular, but we are Saints fans just as much as anybody else. Okay, so we would hope that if you are a Saints fan, you follow Saints groups and y'all support Saints podcasts. And we are one of the podcasters that started last year slow, and we're gaining some ground.
Oh
So
yeah,
we would,
it's been a
yeah, we've been
huge
growing.
growth.
We've been growing. We
Huge
just would
growth.
hope that you guys would see that.
Yeah, it's
And we're
like
linking to TikTok. We're also on Twitter. We're also on Facebook. We're gaining ground in other places, but we would hope that that you guys will give us some love on YouTube.
oh yeah. It's this is our 79th episode. It's been a fun 2 years, even though it's throughout 2 years, it hasn't been winning Saints football quite yet. But I've been enjoying it, guys. I hope y'all been enjoying it. Y'all been able to go ahead and have fun on here, use y'all voices and everything, and just enjoy some Saints football and some Pelicans basketball. Let me tell y'all that even though regardless of what happens today or as with playoffs or regular season and everything like that with the Saints, the Pelicans will still be rolling on in their season and will be
They
still
play it today, 5 o'clock.
yeah, they played today. So we'll still be rolling on with them. We do them every week. Try to do them once a week.
Yeah,
And then
because they got a long season.
yeah, they have a long season and everything. So when we get close to playoff time, because they look very good this season, hopefully they get into the playoffs. We'll start doing post games for them, for playoff time. But yeah, we like I said, we here. We're not going nowhere. Even though things haven't been the greatest, this season, we still gonna go ahead and do what we've always been doing.
And you notice, EJ, you notice we get a lot of people here when the Saints lose. Man, everybody on the post game, man, they be rammed up, ready to come with some negative
I'm
energy.
very interested to
But
see
when the Saints,
what's going to happen in the post game show today. I'm really
yeah, what if they get in? I can guarantee you, if the Saints get in, we're gonna have more than 3 people in the chat.
yeah. Oh yeah, I know that for sure.
I know.
I,
Look.
I'm gonna be honest
That's
though.
why these Saints fans up.
Regardless though, I really feel like even if we lose or we don't make the playoffs, like Saints fans will still be in the post game show, and they'll be like, "I told you so."
I
And all
told you
this
so.
stuff, you know. So
Fire Dennis Allen. Fire Dennis
I'm
Allen.
for sure waiting to
Preston, shout
see.
out to you, Preston.
I'm for sure waiting to see what we're gonna see in a post game show. You know, post game show, pregame shows are great. We go ahead and hype y'all up
It'd
for the
be
game.
early in the morning.
Like,
People be
but it
happy,
be
you know.
early, yeah. It's early in the morning. We be starting at 10:45, so a lot of them don't really get in until after the game. And then when after the game comes, you see the most, craziest things. You know, a lot of them get
Passionate,
drunk.
drunk.
So it's
And,
something
and,
worth
and,
out
and,
to
and
see.
look, EJ, you and I, we have gotten criticized and we have gotten praised that we allow people to cuss on this channel, and sometimes you see them come on here intoxicated. This is the Baddest Sports Show podcast, and we have tried to make this a safe group for people like that who likes to party a little bit, who likes to cuss a little bit, maybe, and that's why we don't have probably the biggest podcasting group like other people, but we try to make it a safe group for everybody.
Right. Yeah. Like I said, we
Because we ain't got church people in here.
yeah, look, we keep it open, we keep it free. Now, of course, we don't want people going out of control and nothing like that. But
Right, we try to control.
we let y'all have fun. You know, y'all enjoy it. You know, we enjoy having y'all on here. And we let y'all voices speak. So that's what makes us different here.
Yeah, we open the panel more than any podcasters out there. We give more of opinions. We value more of the opinions of the fans than any of the podcasters that is on YouTube. That's hands down.
Right. So yeah, I like I said, I hope y'all enjoyed it, man. Preston said, y'all know people have to let their joy or frustration out. And yeah, look, hey, that's the whole point of having this, Preston. I'm not gonna lie to you. The whole point of having this type of setting, this type of podcast is to, go ahead and give whether it's a win or a loss, go ahead and give you a voice, let you vent,
cry. Cry if you want to cry.
Stuff, like I know a lot of people sometimes they be in a house where they can't really say too much after the Saints loss, so they can't say or get too excited after the Saints win. This gives you that platform. This gives you that way of talking with fellow Saints fans or Pelicans fans or sports fans for that matter. And just to talk about it, get whatever you have on your chest out.
EJ, you notice you don't see Bucks fans in our. You remember Bucks fans?
Yeah.
You don't see him today because I think he thought. Come on, EJ. He came on our panel because he thought he was going to be
that they were going to win. Yeah, I knew.
He was trying to sucker us up.
Yeah, I knew Bucks fan wasn't going to show up today. It was good having them.
It's good to have you, Buck fan.
From tuning in and everything. But look, reality kicked in. The Saints, finished them off. Now I know he's hoping and praying that the Panthers don't.
Man, I'm a Panthers fan today. For the first time, I'm a Panthers fan today.
Oh yeah,
go Bryce Young. Go Bryce Young. Go Bryce Young.
Look, man,
I should have changed my avatar.
I'm gonna tell you what. I'm definitely.
I'm a Panther fan.
I'm gonna be on there on watching the Saints game, but I'm gonna be,
we're gonna go back and forth. That's why we got. That's why we have the ticket.
I'm gonna be watching and seeing what the Panthers are doing, and if it gets out of hand early, I ain't gonna worry about it.
Then I'm gonna tune into the Seattle Cardinals game. Then I'm gonna tune into the Bears Packers game. I'm gonna be watching today. Oh yeah.
I'll be tuned in because that's what Saints fans do. Where is God? I know they've been frustrating the hell out of us all this season, but look, I still wanted to doggone make the playoffs. Quite honestly,
I still want to go. Look, when I hear Saints fans talking about, why would you want to go to lose? How you know?
Yeah.
How you know you're gonna go to lose? Yeah. It's crazy to me that it's crazy to me that fans will say that why I don't want to go to the playoffs just to lose. You don't know if you're gonna lose. Football is crazy. The Seattle Seahawks, EJ, You don't remember when we were 11-5, EJ? Remember we watched this game at home. You
Yeah.
remember we was 11-5. We didn't win our division, and we went to play Seattle, who won their division. And at that time, the Seahawks was 7-9, and that's when Marshall Lattimore shook their whole stadium and beat the New Orleans Saints 11-5 football team.
Yeah.
Don't tell me that things don't happen. We've seen it happen time and
Well,
time with a
I,
bad
I
football
like to
team.
always bring up the New York Giants,
New
man.
York Giants,
New York Giants came out of nowhere and went to the whole Super Bowl and won it
nine
all.
and seven.
Like it's anything can happen in sports. That's why sports is so special. Like we always talk about, um, how great teams are and everything like that. But if you get hot at the right time and you get yourself, as long as you get yourself in, anything can happen, man. So, like I said, I would love to see the Saints in there and everything like that. I'm not scared of none of these playoff teams that they have in the NFC. The Eagles are not as scary as they was in the beginning of the
All right,
season.
Preston asking you what they have to do to get in.
Well, I kind of mentioned all this earlier, but
Well, you're gonna have to repeat because people just
I'll
getting
mention
in.
this again, Preston. I see we got some late laggers in here. Doggone, but to get in, all right, I'm gonna say this again, y'all.
Three scenarios.
There,
Three scenarios.
there was actually, well, there's two scenarios, and there's just
It's three. It's three because it's the Saints winning the division, and it's the two other games.
well, look, it's two scenarios: win the NFC South or get the 7th seed. That's two scenarios. Okay, the Saints have to win today, of course. Okay, and to win the NFC South, and the Panthers would have to beat the Bucks today to win the NFC South. If the Saints want to make the playoffs and win the NFC South. Now, if we're talking about 7th seed and the Buccaneers end up beating the Panthers today, okay, then of course, like I said, the Saints have to beat the Falcons, but the Cardinals would have to beat the Seahawks, and the Chicago Bears would have to beat the Green Bay Packers. That's what you would need to happen if you're a Saints fan.
And
Looking to get in the
these are
7th
big
seed.
possibilities.
Yeah.
Maybe not the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Panthers. Maybe not them, but it's a possibility with them because that's a divisional opponent playing on the road. Okay, that's a possibility. But these other possibilities, the Cardinals are on a hot streak, going against a divisional opponent, Seahawks, knowing that they want to knock them out. Then the NFL did this right, EJ. Then they also got the Bears, who can possibly, on a hot streak, could possibly beat the Packers. The
Yeah.
NFL did right. They put divisional opponents at the end.
Yeah. Look, I'm excited. If nothing else, being a football fan, there's gonna be some exciting games going on today. Like this is not the only we're not the only team that's hoping teams lose and stuff like that and everything like that to try to get in the playoffs. They got a lot of playoff scenarios going on. A lot of teams have to win today, to get themselves in. I'm looking at like the Buffalo Bills and the Miami Dolphins. They got to win their games today to go ahead and get in the playoffs. The Bills, they got a good record, but because of what happened last night with the Steelers are now going to help themselves get closer to the playoffs. The Houston Texans, shout out to the Houston Texans, man. Something that I'm hoping that the Saints kind of do is kind of take the approach of the Houston Texans. Start your franchise over, man. Go ahead. Don't be afraid to start young. Get a rookie. Get you a young head coach and go ahead and rebuild. And then you might find yourselves in the playoffs and quickly, and while you're young too. The Houston Texans with C.J. Stroud and DeMeco Ryans, man, they didn't belong in the playoffs, but they find themselves in the playoffs, man. Shout out to them. Great job by them last night against the Indianapolis Colts, which I'm not gonna lie to you, the Colts had a really good season too. If they would have won last night, they could have found themselves in the playoffs. So it's gonna be a crazy day of football, man. And yeah, I know a lot of us are Saints fans in here, man, but just being a football fan, it's gonna be some interesting stuff happening Um, yeah, Bronze, I kind of was explaining that,
Shout out to Brian.
the Bears, you know, if the Bears, Arizona, and Carolina win, Saints win, they're in. If Carolina wins, and say, yeah, I was explaining all that, Brian. Like I said, basically, I think the easiest scenario, the Saints, if you're a Saints fan, just hope that the damn Panthers whip the Buccaneers' ass today. That's what
I
you.
don't think that's the easiest one.
That's the easiest one
I
to
think
do.
the best scenario is the Bears in beating the Green Bay Packers, and I think the best scenario is with
And the
Seattle
Cardinals
losing
beating
to
the
the
Seahawks.
Cardinals.
So
If I had to put my money on it, it would be them teams rather than the Tampa Bay. But I'm not gonna put my heart on because Baker Mayfield and them. It's a
I
possibility.
don't
He's
know, man.
injured.
I just
He's
feel
injured.
it. I feel it. Yeah, he's interested.
And Bryce Young, man, you never know.
I'm just feeling, man, like the is because I'm looking more at division. Like Carolina play teams tough. Like
But that's all divisions.
we
So
gotta
listen,
remember.
but you say you're looking at division. I'm telling you that the Green Bay Packers and the Bears are divisional opponents.
Mm-hmm,
I'm telling you that the Seattle Seahawks and the Cardinals are divisional opponents.
right.
So you're saying that it's all of them, in my opinion.
We gotta remember what happened to Atlanta. I mean, to put themselves in this position. I mean, Atlanta just thought they was just gonna. They by now they thought they was winning the division, and Carolina came out of nowhere and beat them. Like that's what I'm saying. That stuff can happen. So like I said, I'm kind of leaning more on the side of if it is gonna happen, Carolina could go ahead and help us.
I'm gonna tell you why I like your scenario. I'm gonna tell you why I like your scenario more. Both of the games are at 12 o'clock.
Yeah,
Both of the games. They're gonna be playing while we playing.
right.
We could just solve the problem right there.
Right there. Yeah.
Then,
So
but
like
after that, but if it don't
no,
work,
that
we
the
gotta wait
seven
for the three
seed,
o'clock game.
the
We got.
seven,
What I'm
yeah,
saying is,
the
we
seven
would have to
seed
wait for
games
the 3 o'clock games.
yeah, the 7 seed games are in 3:30. So um to get it over with, 12 o'clock, go ahead. We'll know. We'll definitely know when we get on the post game show. We'll know from there whether the Saints will win the division or if they'll have to hope for the 7 seed in the post game show. So we'll know by then. Okay, we'll be definitely talking about that in the post game show.
Okay, now let me ask you a question. If the Saints, what would be better for the Saints? If they won the division, they have to
Well,
play.
yeah, I'm glad you
Think
brought
about
that up.
this.
I'm,
Think
I'm,
about this.
I'm
If
glad
they
you
win the
brought that.
division, they play a home playoff game, but who they play? And if
Jason,
they play the 7th seed, who they play?
Jason, you're incorrect. The Carolina Buccaneers game is at 12 o'clock.
The Carolina Buccaneer game is at 12 o'clock, Jason.
Yeah, it's with the
It's
Saints.
going on at 1 o'clock Eastern time, the same time as
With
our
the
game.
Saints
You
and
need to go
Buccaneers
check out
game.
your
Yeah,
schedule, Jason.
yeah. It's coming on the same time and the same
Forgive Jason, he just woke up.
Yeah. But great question, Dad. If the Saints get let's just say the Saints win the division and they get the 4th seed, okay. Now that means a team like the Eagles or the Cowboys, depending on how either one of those two teams finish today, those two teams will have to come to the dome. Okay. Now, if the Saints get a 7 seed, okay, then what it looks like is, and let me go ahead and just pull this up just to make sure real quick, because I never want to pull up, say any false information for y'all. I always like to give y'all the true and the real. Now, let's just say it will probably apply again. Okay, if the Saints were the 7th seed, because right now as it stands, the Cowboys are the 2nd seed. Okay, but the Eagles need the Cowboys to go ahead and lose today to get that 2nd seed. So let's just say out of one of them teams, once again, either way, you're probably going to go ahead on that road and you're going to face either the Dallas Cowboys on the road or you're facing the Philadelphia Eagles on the road. I would love to have both of those teams at home. I would love to have like the Cowboys or the Eagles at home. Or that I mean, like I said, I would much rather have that fourth seed right.
Okay, but if you're the 7th
But,
seed,
but if you're the 7th seed,
who will you go to?
I would much rather go play the Cowboys at their house rather than the Eagles at their house.
Than the Eagles. I would rather play the Eagles. I would rather play the Eagles on the road in the cold because the Saints have approved that the Eagles are shaky this year. The Cowboys are hot. I would not want to go in Jerry's world the way the Cowboys and CD Lamb is playing right now. I would not want to play the Cowboys. If the Saints had any shot, they could beat. I believe the Saints could beat Philadelphia on the road. I'm telling you, for whatever reason, Philadelphia couldn't beat the Cardinals at home. I think the Saints going on the road. What did we do when we went there a year ago when Gardner Minshew was the quarterback, of course? But still, Gardner Minshew, almost took the coach in this year. But let's just remember that the Saints have been playing on the road better than they had played at home. I think if the Saints was the 7th team, we would be better off than at home. In my opinion, that's just my opinion.
Really? Wow. Well, like I said, I'm either way. I'm not
with the Eagles. I'm only with the Eagles, not with the Cowboys.
Like I said,
if we was with at home against the at home against that would be different. Well, against the Cowboys.
Either way, I'm not really afraid of either one of those teams in the playoffs. Cowboys don't scare me in the playoffs. They don't really prove that they win enough for me in the playoffs. And then the Eagles, the way they've been looking the last couple of weeks, they don't scare nobody. Okay, after the Cardinals came in their house and came back on them, I mean, anybody can score in that defense. So it's like I said, anything can happen in the playoffs, y'all. I know a lot of y'all talking about, man, I don't know why y'all want the Saints to get in the playoffs and everything like that. Doggone, the Saints can go ahead and get destroyed by one of these teams in the NFC. I do not believe that. I really don't. I'm not with
I don't believe that. I think this is a horrible year for football.
Yes.
A horrible year of these teams. I don't think there's no fate. And a lot of these teams, if you get in the playoffs, I don't think there's no dominant football team in the NFC. The NFC is not dominant written. I think any of them teams, including the 49ers, can actually shake up and lose. I just believe that. I think that none of these teams that you can sit there and say, "Oh man, they are for sure teams."
Yeah, and you're correct in saying that. Like I said, I think the only team in the NFL that looks clear cut right now, and I know they just lost last
Baltimore Ravens.
But yes, they just
when Lamar Jackson, because Lamar didn't play last
they rested their starters last night. So the Ravens look like the
clear cut favorite.
Yeah, a clear cut favorite team right now. So don't tell me nothing about none of these teams in the NFC can be beaten, because they can. They surely can. So that's why I'm saying, like, you may not agree with us on that, but I'm just exactly, Preston.
So thank you, Preston. Preston, we had many Saints fans that was there, and you can go to our group over there on the Battle Sports Show Facebook group. Yeah. They're screaming, "Oh, we don't want to go with Derek Carr, Derek and Dennis Allen. We would rather stay home." That's the negativity of the fan base.
Right. What? I mean, how can you call yourself a fan and you're asking? I mean, you don't want your team in the playoffs. I mean, like, if my team has a chance to get in the playoffs, by all means, get them in the damn playoffs. Nobody wants to be a team that's not making the playoffs every year. Okay.
Yeah, and I understand that y'all unlove affair for Dennis Allen. I don't like his ass neither. But don't ever tell me that you would rather this organization is not firing Dennis Allen this year. So you might as well hope they make the playoffs.
Yeah.
You might as well hope that what the heck?
Exactly. That's a great analogy, Evan 504. I mean, think about it. A lot of Saints fans were hoping, for the Saints not to make the playoffs and to lose because they wanted Dennis Allen fired. I mean, now you can throw that out the door. Dennis Allen looks like he's here to stay. So, I mean, at this point, you might well get on the train and just say, you know what, we might well just get up in there. Like if we got a shot, let's get it in the playoffs, because Dennis Allen looks like he ain't going nowhere, man. I hate to say that. I really truly do. It's not like I'm trying to advocate for no Dennis Allen. Damn it, I want him gone too. But from what I'm hearing from Adam Schefter, from Ian Rappaport, from even Nick Underhill, I'm hearing that doggone Dennis Allen looks like he's safe. Okay, so we just got to get with it with him right now. Okay, for now, and just get through the storm.
And do we like that, Saints fans? Hell no.
Yeah.
But the thing is, what I'm looking at Mickey Loomis is going to do, he don't think it's Dennis Allen. Mickey Loomis think it's the offense. He really believe that Dennis Allen, and I blame Mickey Loomis for this disaster this year, because Mickey Loomis pushed Pete Carmichael out, because Carmichael did not want to be offensive coordinator. Yeah. He talked Pete Carmichael in to being the offensive coordinator with Dennis Allen, because at the time Dennis couldn't find the guy he wanted, and they pretty much, to me, I think that was a slap in the face to Dennis Allen, not being able to hire your own assistants. Don't tell me a couple of defensive. He hired the defensive coordinators. He hired a couple of people on defensive, but he did not hire an offensive staff. If I'm going to take a job, I got to have my quarterback and my offensive coordinator. I can't just have one without the other. And Pete Carmichael is not it for the Saints in the future. He's just not it.
Yeah.
And I know people are going to say, oh, it's a scapegoat. No, Pete Carmichael is just not the guy, y'all. And I think, he is going to be used as a scapegoat. And then I think coming into the season next year, if this don't win the next 3 games or the next 4 games, he will be fired in the mid-season. That's the way they're going to do it.
Yeah, for sure, man.
Be like, look, I gave you 3 years.
Yeah. Look, man, like I said, I liked what Jonathan Abrams said, and shout out to Jonathan Abrams.
Shout out to Jonathan Abrams.
He had a hell of a game last week against the Bucs. Look, this man in a post game, talking to the team in the huddle, he was like, they better not let us in. It's not over for us. I mean, these are the things he's saying out of his mouth. They better not let us in.
They better not let him in. They better not let him in. I'm telling you, the Saints defense, defensive-wise, if you get the Saints defensive team in the playoffs, you can't tell me the Saints defense is not good enough to compete in the playoffs against some of these quarterbacks that are in the playoffs. You just can't tell me that. The Saints defense.
Our defense alone can match up with anyone in the NFL, okay? And that's even saying that with Lattimore going. Like Lattimore hasn't been healthy yet, but there's a chance if we make.
And I believe he will play if they was in the playoffs.
Yeah,
if they play the playoffs, all of a sudden people who you thought were hurt gonna act like they ain't never was hurt. Michael Thomas gonna act like
show up out of nowhere. He
gonna show up out of nowhere.
Yeah. So like I said, man, if you want to see guys like that for the last time, hey. But go ahead and make sure you go ahead and hit that.
I'm not here to give the Saints no false hope, EJ. I'm not giving no Saints no false hope. There's a possibility after this game we're going to be talking off season.
Yeah.
I'm cool with that.
Yeah.
But there's a thing. They said it's still a chance. Yes, it's still a chance.
Look, I'm not trying to steal no false hope in the Saints fans. I'm fine either way. Yeah. Listen to me when I say this. This is EJ 504 talking to y'all on the Better Sports Show podcast. I'm just telling y'all right now, I'm not giving y'all false hope. I'm just telling y'all from being a Saints fan. Look, if we make it, hell yeah. If we don't, it's okay. We're going to be fine, Saints fans, okay? We're going to get out of this damn trouble, and we're going to be back to the team that we're used to seeing, okay? Whether it's with Dennis Allen or whether it's not, we're going to figure it out. Okay, we're going to go ahead and get this cap situation figured out. We're going to go ahead and make some cuts. We're going to get some new players. We're going to bring some new energy, and we're going to be fine. Okay?
And let's get rid of, rather we have Dennis Allen or not, let's get rid of the whole Sean Payton era.
Yes.
Get rid of everything. Everybody that was under Sean Payton.
Yes.
Of course, we can't get rid of Dennis Allen. But I think next year we really need to remove that whole offensive system. The whole system of that West Coast style, Sean Payton, John Gruden, we got to move on to something different. I want to see something different like a Ben Johnson type of offense, like right up there in Detroit. I want to see something that's different. Maybe that Kansas City, Eric Bieniemy, Kansas City type of offense. But we need to remove our system, y'all. Our system. I'm done with the old system. We need to catch up to the ages. Maybe Sean McVay. You know what I'm saying? That type of offense. We got to move on to something different, y'all.
Yeah. Hey, Pierre Grant, what's going on with you? Look, hey,
Pierre in the house.
he said trainers and medical staff too. Yeah, hey.
Hey, well, I think they did that a couple of times.
Yeah, look, I'm gonna say
Jeff Ford in the house.
I'm gonna say just for it. Look, I'm gonna say this too.
Jess is in the house.
I'm not gonna blame too much of the trainers and medical staff. Stop pointing those fingers at the players. Say them players know what they're doing. They know if they can play or not. Okay, and some of them will just be sitting out just to be sitting out. Okay. So I'm not gonna put all that on the damn trainers. Look, them trainers can't make them damn players play.
No. At some point, you got to blame the players. That's like we talked about with Zion Williamson on the Batter Sports Show podcast, Pelicans. We talked about Zion. Zion is taking his own self accountable. This is just like we talked about the Pelicans and Brandon Ingram and
Yes.
Zion always stay hurt.
All about the players.
At some point, the Saints players got to take responsibilities on how they treat their bodies, man.
Right.
Mark Ingram always knew how to treat his body. He already certain players that knows how to treat their bodies when they become veterans. And I noticed that some of these young players are not taking care. And I'm not talking about Alvin Kamara, because Alvin Kamara is a stud. He rarely ever hurt. So it's not, even the studs gonna get hurt.
Yeah.
And that's just the bottom line.
For sure. Look, hey, and Preston, I'm with you on that, man. If somehow, some way, doggone the Saints could just, even if it's not head coach, talk Bieniemy to get, be the offensive coordinator, man. Just get him over here, man. Let him go ahead and call the offense, man. I would love it.
Well, Jason, we talked about that in the beginning of the Batter Sports Show podcast. In the beginning, we talked about Green Bay. That game bite us in the ass. The fact that the Saints were up 17 to nothing, 17 to nothing in Green Bay, and we laid an egg to the Green Bay Packers. We would not even need to worry about Green Bay if it wasn't for that game.
We would be in the playoffs right now. We would be in the playoffs.
If it would not be for that game.
If we would have won that game, we would be the 7th seed right now. That's how important games are in the NFL.
That's
man.
how. Well, look, let's go back to a couple of games we should have won. All right, think about it, y'all. The Minnesota game, we should have beat Minnesota.
Yeah,
you can't tell me we shouldn't have beat Minnesota.
Yeah.
Minnesota had no quarterbacks. They had a quarterback that came off the street and beat us. The Saints are look, at the end of the day, we put ourselves in this. The Houston game. We had the Houston. There's no way in the world you lose to the Houston
Texans,
the Texans. These are games. If we'd have had at least 2 of them games that we lost, y'all. 2 of the games out the stuff.
We're sitting pretty right now. Yeah. We probably would take the
Green Bay game, EJ, the Green Bay game and the Houston game.
Yeah, it's crazy. Atlanta game. There's no way we lost the Atlanta game, man. It's just crazy. Like I said, the Saints had the blueprints to put themselves in a better position. It just didn't fall that way, man. Just kind of said that we need a power running back. I'm gonna give Jamal another year, man.
Because Jamal didn't get the ball. Jamal was injured in the very first part of the season.
A lot of injuries,
and he didn't get the damn ball. Pete Carmichael did not get him the ball. How you get a guy who had 16 touchdowns and not be able to touch the football? That is coaching. That's not the player. That man ain't forgetting how to play in 1 year, how to score touchdowns. It's Pete Carmichael.
Yeah.
That's like Jimmy Graham. Jimmy Graham had 4 touchdowns at the goal line. Where was Jimmy Graham last week? What was Jimmy Graham?
Nowhere to be found. Yeah. That's bad coaching, man. And to not even have him out on the field, man. That's crazy. Pierre also said that, and that's something that the Saints are gonna have to watch out for today. Okay, I hate Atlanta with a passion, but Atlanta got a damn good running game.
Bijan Robinson.
We have to watch Bijan Robinson and Tyler Algier. Okay, we have to watch him as
Colin
well.
Algiers.
Yes,
Algiers, Louisiana, right across the street by New Orleans.
yes,
New Orleans and Algiers.
They definitely have to watch out for these running backs in Atlanta.
Which is Algiers is New Orleans, but go ahead.
And look, Drake London, their young receiver. Watch out for him at receiver. Okay, I know he hasn't had the greatest of seasons, but he plays pretty well.
Don't sleep on number 84 too, EJ. Number 84 always kill the thing.
Jonnu Smith, yeah. Watch him, and of course, Kyle.
What his name?
Jonnu Smith.
No, that name ain't no Smith. I'm talking about that running back number 84.
Oh, you talking about? My bad. Cordell Patterson.
Yeah. That kickoff returns, running the ball. He always kills the
Saints, man. He loves playing the Saints, man. It's just something about him playing the Saints, man. He loves the doggone having a good day against the Saints. Watch out for Cordell Patterson, man. And look, watch out for they tight end Kyle Pitts.
Kyle Pitts.
He's good.
Kyle Pitts.
He's good, man. If they target him a lot, you just gotta watch him out there on defense. But I'm feeling pretty good, y'all, about this game today. It's getting close.
It's getting close.
Prediction time. It's prediction time, y'all.
And then the fact that this is our last game. The fact that this is our last game of the season, y'all. Yeah, I would look. It's probably the last game of the season. And if it ain't, look, it's probably the last game of the season. A lot of hopes and dreams. It's probably the last game of the season.
I see what he doing, Saints fans. Don't feed into it. I know
it's probably the last game of the season.
Hey, the man Hump said Matt Ryan is calling the game, so man, it's gonna be.
We should have some sacks. If Matt Ryan is calling the game, then we should be able to sack the quarterback.
Yeah.
This is a game we should be able to sack the quarterback. Jason said he just pulled over in Georgia to watch the game. Wow.
He's an enemy.
Jason is about to deal with all them Falcon fans.
Yeah, he's in enemy territory right now. So hopefully we get a win for him so he can give some Atlanta hell.
Of course, the game is in New Orleans.
You know,
EJ and I had decided to go to that Giants game. Maybe we should have went to. No, I wouldn't have felt that.
Nah, I was good with the Giants game.
I was good with the Giants game.
They played hella good against.
Because we needed that game. We needed that game, and that was a game the Saints needed. If we didn't win that game, we wouldn't be talking about today.
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure. Well, prediction time is now. It's 11:55.
All right, everybody in the chat, if you can put the predictions down.
Everybody in the chat, we asked two things from you: the MVP of the game and the final score. So you drop that down there for us in the comment section. Dad, I got two questions for you. Who's your MVP of today's game, and what is the final score against the Atlanta Falcons?
Okay, my MVP in this game is Derek Carr. Because for whatever reason, the last 4 to 3 games, Derek Carr woke up. I don't know what's going on. Saints fans are not going to like what I'm saying, but Derek Carr looks like a quarterback finally. He looked like the guy that we were looking for. So I got Derek Carr needing this football game so bad, throwing 3 touchdowns, 325 yards, very accurate, I think, and my MVP of this game, I'm going with Chris Olave. I think Chris Olave is going to have a big game against the Atlanta Falcons.
Okay.
I think the Saints going to pass the ball.
Okay. All right. What's that final score for me? What is that?
I got the Saints winning this game. Like I said, it's a thrilling fashion always with Atlanta and the Saints. 28-25 Saints.
All right. Just Forrest said MVP Taysom Hill, and Atlanta, he taking Atlanta 25-24. Atlanta, just for Preston said Pete Werner is his MVP, and he has the Saints 23-20.
Wow, okay? That means Pete Werner may have an interception.
And I'm going my MVP today. I'm actually in agreement with you today, Dad. I think Derek Carr is going to be the MVP of the game today. And I think my final score today is going to be 28-14. New Orleans Saints win today and they finish on a high note this season, whether they make the playoffs or not. I think the Saints take care of the Atlanta Falcons, the dirty freaking bird. So, Saints fans, we are 3 minutes away. Look, man, I'm going to just tell y'all right now. Look, anything can happen. Anything can happen. Keep your minds open. But I'm more than anything, the Saints have to take care of business against Atlanta today. Okay? We have to beat the Falcons today. So tune into these Saints today.
I just screenshot what Jess Ford said. So I will keep this for when ammunition. I just screenshot. Look, I didn't do it. Look, I didn't do it without. I just want to let you know you just got screenshotted. That final score, Jess Ford.
Calvin said we are going to the playoffs. We are going to.
I like that kind of energy.
Before I even let y'all go, let me ask y'all this. If you put in the comments if you think the Saints are going to the playoffs, just put playoffs or put no playoffs in the comment section. Dad, let me ask you this: are the Saints going to the playoffs?
Yes.
You believe the Saints are going to the playoffs? Okay, all right. And guys, I think the Saints are going to the playoffs as well. I think so too. I think by some miraculous way. I just have a good feeling about today.
I think it's going to be the 7th seed. I think the Saints are going to the playoffs with the 7th seed. It's not going to be – Tampa is going to win today, and I believe that the Cardinals are Cardinals going to defeat Seattle, and I believe the Bears is going into Lambeau Field and beat the Green Bay Packers. That's how the New Orleans Saints is going to the playoffs.
Oh, well, we going to find out in the post-game show. Like I said, y'all be up in there hot and ready because, like I said, we'll definitely know by then if the Saints have the division or not, okay? So we'll know half of those scenarios down after this game. So, Saints fans, y'all enjoy the game. You have been listening and tuning in to
the guess what, EJ? One more thing. Saints fans, if Dennis Allen defeats the Atlanta Falcons, that y'all can no longer say he has a winning record. He would have a 9-8 record, and so y'all no longer say that man has not won. He was 7-10 last year and 9-8 this year. That is a winning season. I'm just letting you know.
That's true.
Don't tell me about Oakland. No more Oakland stories. It's about what he's doing here.
Saints fans, it's 12 o'clock. You have been listening to the Baddest Sports Show podcast in the Deep South. I'm EJ 504. That's Everett 504. We'll see y'all in the post-game show. Y'all enjoy the game today. And and give me a 1, 2, 3. Who that? Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Who that?